today we're going to talk about rhythm. Okay, and specifically there's two things we're going to look at. We're going to look at the contrast between a stressed and an unstressed syllable. And in order to do that, we need to understand what the length of a syllable is. So my first question to you is, what is a syllable?
Syllable is how we divide the words to pronounce better,
Yes.
to put a special accent
Okay,
when we
good.
need to pronounce in different way.
Okay, good.
But
So I'm going to stop you there because the key word that you used is divide. How do we divide a word? And that means a syllable is a unit of sound that contains one vowel sound. That's what makes a syllable. Now, then we get into stress, syllable stress. What is syllable stress? That's where we put the accent. So my next question is, what do we do on the stressed syllable of a word?
We need to try to effort our voice to pronounce longer or shorter, but with a special accent in this syllable.
Okay.
To put the word more understandable for others.
That's where we start to get into the contrast between what's stressed and what's unstressed. Okay, so accent, when we talk about accent, it means we need to use more intonation in our voice. When you talk about effort, we can emphasize a stressed syllable by making it longer, louder, and higher in pitch. I want you to listen to this. Jim works hard. Jim works hard. Does that sound like equal stress or contrasted stress? Are the syllables the same length or are they different?
I think it's the same. It's like I hear like Jim works hard, has the same structure.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do any effort for any word.
Well, you're going to do an effort, but it's the same effort. Each one, if you look closely, only has one syllable. Jim, one vowel sound, one syllable. Works, one vowel sound, one syllable. Hard, one vowel sound, one syllable. Say that for me.
Jim works hard.
Good, and now say it together more quickly. Jim works hard. Again.
Jim works hard.
Okay, good. Now listen to this sentence. Jim always works overtime. Listen again. Jim always works overtime. Can you start to hear a contrast here?
Yeah, here when you start to pronounce always, you put a special accent, more effort to pronounce always, and also overtime.
The first syllable is accented. Same thing here. We have 3 syllables, overtime. And the first syllable is stressed. It's longer, it's louder, it's higher in pitch. So we get, Jim always works overtime. You say it.
Jim always works overtime.
Listen to this, connect it better. Jim always works overtime.
Jim always works overtime.
You got it. So now we start to hear the contrast. Let's come over to the board here and I want to take a look at some more sentences. Okay, good. So let me tell you what we're going to do here. I'm going to read you these 8 sentences. I'm not going to stop in between them. I want you to listen for the contrasted sentences, right? Which one has those short syllables and long syllables, because there's a contrast between the syllables. All right, I'm going to give you the pen. There you go.
Thanks.
Just put a check mark next to the sentences that have a contrast between stressed and unstressed syllables. Here we go. Number 1, use 2 stamps. Number 2, the bigger the deal, the more cash you need. Good. Number 3, working smarter is better than working harder. Number 4, drive me home. Number 5, big deals take cash. Number 6, you need more postage on this. Yes. Number 7, work smart, not hard. Okay. And number 8, I need you to drive me home. Yes. Excellent. Yeah, you're surprised, but you got it correct, okay? Now, let me tell you why. There's 2 things here, and then I'm going to let you ask me a question. But listen, there's 2 things here. If you look here in number 2, we have words like bigger.
Bigger.
How many syllables in that word?
2. Bigger.
That
Bigger.
automatically tells us that one syllable is stressed and one is not. Which one is stressed?
I believe this is bigger.
Yeah, it's the first syllable.
Bigger.
That's right. So that in itself is going to give us that contrast between stressed and unstressed syllables, okay? Now, let's look at an example like this. Read number 8 to us.
I need you to drive me home.
I need you to drive me home. I need you to drive me home. I need you to drive me home. Now, do you hear musically how there's a contrast? I need you to drive me home. This is for a different reason. It's because we have content words versus structure words. Anytime you have a pronoun or an article or a preposition, that's going to start to give you that short syllable versus the nouns and the verbs that are going to give you the longer syllables. So say for me, need, drive, home.
Need, drive, home.
I need you to drive me home.
I need you to drive me home.
You got it. Okay? So these are the reasons why some of these are short and equal. Drive me home versus I need you to drive me home, where there's long and short, right? Good, nice job over there.
Thank you.
All right, now it's your turn to be in the hot spot. Okay? What does that mean? I want you to talk and I want to listen. I want to listen and I want to help you find that contrast in your voice. Okay? So remember, you're looking for long syllables that are either nouns or verbs or adjectives to show the contrast between the pronouns and prepositions and things like that. Or you're looking for 2-syllable words, 3-syllable words, which means that some syllables have to be longer than others. Okay? So here's the assignment. I want you to come up here in a moment, okay, and I want you to talk about a recent work success. It doesn't have to be revealing and it doesn't have to be super confidential. Just something that made you feel good about the work you were doing.
Sure.
You think you can think of something?
I can do it.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
sure.
So come on up here. You're going to go in the hot spot and I'm going to go over in your chair and I'm going to listen and I'm going to take some notes. It doesn't have to be long, okay, Johnny? I just want to hear that you're thinking and you're applying this notion of contrasted syllables. Okay? Sure. All right, good. Go ahead.
Yesterday, I had bigger surprise in my team meeting. They were ready with all things planning to be or to do during the all following weeks.
Okay, good. Wait one there for 1 second. Let me interject, okay? So you said for me, they were ready with all the planning. Say that for me.
They were ready with all planning.
Right, so that some of your syllables are long and some are short. They were ready. They surprised me, right? Tell me that again.
They were ready. They surprised me.
That's right, right? So right there, you're making your voice longer, you're making the syllable longer, you're making it a little louder, and you're making it a little higher in pitch, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Tell me a little bit more.
They gave me another bigger surprise. They were ready with all of the information and to be ready for the next following weeks.
Okay, good. Now hold on there for a second. I want you to say for me another big surprise.
Another big surprise.
Right, okay?
Another big surprise.
They gave me another big surprise.
They gave me another big surprise.
Good, but the word another is important, but they gave me another big surprise.
They gave me another big surprise.
Yeah, good, right? So you hear that contrast between the stressed words and the unstressed syllables, right? Okay, good. Want to tell me more?
When I start to planning with them, the next following task that we're supposed to do that.
Now hold on, what's happening right now is everything is going very fast, so there's nothing that's long. There's nothing that's long, okay? So you have to make sure you throw in long syllables and not just go really fast. Tell me again, another thing, what's another thing that happened?
Another surprise that I had was they were ready with all plans that to be to complete it during the next following weeks.
Good.
And I was so excited about that.
Good.
And the thing I did was invite all of them for the lunch time.
Okay.
And we had we went to the restaurant, we had very good food.
Okay.
And we really enjoyed the music that they had. Was a very good time together.
Good. Now this is much better. This is much better because what you're doing now is you're showing me the contrast. You tend to speak quickly, and we don't want to just hear the speed all the time. There has to be some kind of syllable that stands out.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. So there has to be something that stands out, and that's that's what you started to do.
Okay, thank
right?
You
Know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
And you can feel that, right?
I feel that when I need to put a special accent in my words
Right.
to be more understandable for others.
That's right. And it's not just on the words, it's on syllables.
Syllables,
Right?
yes.
So it's both. All right, good. Johnny, come on back to your seat here.
Sure.
All right. And let me just say this, okay? Syllable contrast, syllable stress is much more of a challenge for non-native speakers than it is for native speakers. But even native speakers of English need to understand that there's a certain value to certain words, but to certain syllables. So it's really important across the board. A good public speaker is going to use, what did we talk about? Rhythm.
Rhythm.
We talked about rhythm. And what is a good public speaker going to do with rhythm? Can you tell me what is the first thing we talked about?
The contrast between stressed and unstressed syllables.
The contrast between stressed and unstressed syllables.
Yes.
What is the second thing that we talked about? When we talk about a syllable being stressed, what do we need to do? We need to make it longer, right? So we talked about the length of the syllable. And when you remember those two things, you're going to have more rhythm, and then you're going to be better at public speaking, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, you did an excellent job today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you.